have you here. I was delighted to hear that you'd been appointed as our newest water fairy. It's been so long since we've had a fresh face here. I think close to 25 years, give or take. You'll have to excuse me, I'm a bit rusty with this whole orientation thing. After all, it's been so long. I think I have the basics down. It's a bit like riding a bike, isn't it? You never quite forget how to do it. So, I think we'll get started, shall we? Are you at all familiar with the typical duties of a water fairy? No? Well, it will be my honor to walk you through the basics, so to speak. As water fairies, it's our job to keep the oceans and seas and lakes of the world finely tuned. Make sure they're replenished and that the ebb and flow of the water is just right. You see, many people think that the moon controls the tide. It does in part. But, well, let's be honest. We're kind of the ones who work behind the scenes and make sure that it flows in and out at a good pace. Now, we are also charged with caring for the animals of the water and virtually all of the creatures who inhabit the seas and oceans. Now, some have mistakenly believed that we are also, well, that we hold governance over the mermaids, but they are their own society and we really have no purview over them whatsoever. We do work with them on occasion, however. In fact, we have a committee that we formed with them, and we collaborate on various projects, such as pollution cleanup and removing various toxicities from the bodies of water, when oil spills, that kind of thing. We tend to kind of shy away from working with them because they can be a bit arrogant. But when the need arises, we put our differences aside and work together to get the job done, don't we? Now, we are also charged with caring for the Fountain of Youth, which is located, well, you know where it's located. Yes. So, we ensure that the water is of good quality and that it still possesses magical powers, that kind of thing. We also bottle it for safekeeping and distribute it to a hand-selected group of individuals every year. It's a sort of token of our appreciation. We hold a big gala event in which we award them with the vials of it, and oh, you'll see this year, it's quite breathtaking. Let's see, what else? Yes. We always ask for volunteers each year to handcraft the seashells and the sea stones that wash up upon the shore. Yes, that falls into our department. So if you'd like to do that, we have a little group that meets every Wednesday evening, and we get to work crafting little seashells and conch shells and things of that sort. It's a little social group too. We sip on nectar and, well, we have a good time. Now, you will be issued a form of transportation. You can either choose from a dolphin or a seahorse. It depends upon the size of the vehicle you tend to prefer. You like the seahorse? Okay, yes, that's my personal choice as well. I find the dolphin, though rather sophisticated and intelligent, can be a bit bulky, especially since we're so small compared to it. Let me see. Your uniform. You'll be issued a water-resistant uniform, of course, a bit like a mermaid's tail. It has scales and it shimmers when the sunlight hits it. It's quite beautiful, I must admit. We do ask that you tie your hair back when you report to work every morning, just so that it stays out of your face, as the sea breeze can get quite rough at times, especially when the seahorse is moving along. You'll also be issued with an enchantment that allows you to breathe underwater. Yes, forms a sort of bubble around you. It's quite handy, especially if you have to go deep sea diving situations. Now, it is also our responsibility to handle the rain situation throughout the world, so you're not afraid of heights, are you? Oh, good. Good to hear. Well, as the case may be, we often have to go up there and deal with some stubborn clouds, just every now and again, and kind of coax them to disperse the rain. This is especially true in drought seasons, and well, it can be a bit troublesome, but it's well worth it when we allow the earth to flourish. I do believe that the water fairies are some of the most hard-working, but we are also one of the most underappreciated. After all, so many of the other fairy classifications seem to receive all of the glory. For instance, earth. They are notable for their blooms and their flourishing life on the ground level. Air is known for its turbulence and its, well, all of its feathered creatures. Seems a bit exotic. And then the fire. They're known for their creativity and passion and, well, we water fairies seem a little bit, well, underrated. But it is my opinion that you have to make the most of the situation, don't you? Make lemonade out of lemons, so to speak. I've never been one to complain about my situation or my status in life. After all, being a water fairy is very elegant indeed. Just look at the swan or well, even the mermaids, for instance. They're so graceful as they go across the water, moving through it as though it's, well, it's air upon which they float. Well, I digress. You'll have to pardon me for my little rambles. Well, you'll be issued an allowance, and you'll receive all the benefits, medical, mental health, that sort of thing. Also, you'll be able to get regular well-being visits, so massages, pamperings, that kind of thing. Oh, and one other thing. We are also in charge of... We do have a great deal of responsibility, don't we, now that I'm naming it all off to you? Goodness gracious. Anyway, we're in charge of balancing the nutrients and chemical makeup of the water, I guess you could say. So, for instance, the saltwater bodies, we add the salt, and the fresh water, we remove any impurities that may be there. So, if you're interested in that sort of thing, it's more of an advanced science. You will have to attend training, rather in-depth and involved training, but it's well worth it. You get paid a little better, and you get, well, you get the respect of your peers, don't you? But there are plenty of other positions you might want to fill that demand the same respect. For instance, lily pad manufacturing, that's a good profession, honorable, dignified. There are also, where we train the water nymphs. We have a little school where we kind of verse them on the ins and outs of being a water nymph, try to minimize the mischief, so to speak. So that's something you might want to consider. Other than that, I do have a pamphlet for you to, a very small pamphlet, but you can take it with you. We've provided accommodations. You have a beautiful little hut there over on the east side of the lake here, and yes, all to yourself. And it's already been stocked with a wide selection of food and some basic clothing that you'll need for the job. And there's even a little parking space there for your seahorse right outside. Alright, it's been lovely to meet you, and I will see you here tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp. Please don't be late. And I look forward to seeing how you fare here on the job.